She is very passionate about the environment.
She's quite a lady, and I appreciate all that she has done.
Being a representative of a district in a city and championing a cause like this, that speaks volumes.
I've always been into sustainability. This would go back to the first term of Shirley Franklin. Oh my goodness. We applied for a grant from Dell Computers for $10,000. They said, collect all the computers, the used computers, printers, Back then, people were not even throwing their cell phones away. So it was really computers. Get it back to us. They gave us $10,000 to get it back to Dell Computers. And then they were going to properly dispose of them by taking the plastic, the glass, all the little parts, and taking it apart and then recycling all the parts that are inside a computer. And I loved that, and Cheryl loved it.
I got the word out by just going to all our neighborhood associations. I mean, literally every one of them.
We did it at the Civic Center. That was the very first one. Called for volunteers, and people started showing up.
Actually, my mom passed away in 2006. It was my task for the next couple of years to clean their house out, whether it's paint and chemicals, old clothes, paper shredding. What do you do? So it kind of set me on a mission with this. At the time, the City of Atlanta's recycling manager was Mary Harrington, and I came down to see her, what would you suggest I do? Because really, I had no intention of doing this myself. It was more of City of Atlanta, what do people do? So she eventually hooked me up with Carla Smith.
When Peggy came to us in the beginning, we did our very first hazardous waste. They were having an eco convention out at Atlantic Station. But then I got to know the Braves. Steve Smith worked for Turner Broadcasting, and so he introduced me to Mike Plant. Mike Plant was over the stadium. We needed a parking lot, and we asked him, we said, can we use your parking lot? After that, we had met David with electronic waste locally. We didn't have to pay a truck to add to the carbon footprint to drive it all the way to Austin, Texas. So we started doing our electronic events at Turner Field.
Carla being Carla, we always tell anybody, the volunteers or anybody else, you have to have good shoes on and so on and so forth. Stuff's heavy, blah, blah, blah. Here comes Carla walking up with flip-flops. That was kind of an ongoing joke every year after that. I feel that she really grew the awareness. She helped us grow it, for electronics.
We started off with computers and the tires. The tires, Lord have mercy.
What we loved about the Untitled Chapter of Omega Sci-Fi was that they really embraced the sustainability of all of this.
We spread the word within the other organizations, fraternities and sororities.
Sat down with Councilmember Smith, and it was like, it's crazy to continue to do these events once a year at this cost, when at this cost we could have a permanent facility. Long story short, we were able to lease property from, at that time it was the Department of Public Works, and Carla was, we're here, let's go. And that was the creation of Charm. 2015, when we opened, we had 5,000 people the entire year. Last year we had over 35,000, and it was COVID, as well as we're only
Good morning, everyone. My name is Natalyn Archibong, and I am the chair of the City Utilities Committee. Today is April 27th, 2021, and it is now 10 a.m. And with that, I call the meeting to order. I would ask our analyst, Jared Evans, to conduct a roll call, please, of members.
Good morning, Madam Chair. Councilmember Andrea L. Boone.
Present.
Councilmember Dustin Hillis. Here. Councilmember J.P. Matsakai. Here. Councilmember Joyce Shepard.
Present.
Councilmember Howard Shook. Voice only. Councilmember Cleta Winslow.
Present and voice voting.
Thank you. All members are present, and I think everyone is having trouble logging into eBoardroom.
Okay, well, we will conduct votes by voice vote until we get that resolved. Our next order of business is to have you read the remote meeting statement, please.
This City Utilities Committee is being conducted remotely as advertised and in accordance with OCGA 50-14-1. The meeting will be conducted in conformance with Robert's Rules of Order and the Rules of Council as authorized by the City Code. The public may access the meeting by dialing 1-877-579-6743, conference ID 831-599-1256, which was noted on the Friday, April 3rd public meeting notice. The public may also view the meeting on Channel 26, the Council's homepage at citycouncil.atlanta.ga.gov, the Council's YouTube channel, and the Council's Facebook and Twitter pages via at ATL Council. All presentations are available on the Atlanta City Council City Utilities Committee presentations page. The agenda was published and made available Friday, April 23rd via atlantacitygA.iqm2.com. Additionally, the public was able to submit comments via voicemail at 404-330-6057 between the hours of 4 and 7 p.m. the day before this meeting. These comments will be played during the public comment portion of the meeting. All persons present on the remote council meeting conference bridge are requested to mute your phones and speakers. Additionally, speakers must be acknowledged by the presiding officer prior to speaking. Each council member is requested to open your Outlook email and minimize the screen. Amendments, substitutes, and informational documents have been distributed to committee members beforehand. Thank you all in advance for your cooperation.
All right, thank you very much for reading that. The next order of business is the adoption of the agenda. Since we are not able to vote electronically, this will be a voice vote. I'll entertain a motion to adopt the agenda. Mr. Shook made the motion, seconded by Mr. Mazakai. Unless there's some in readiness, please all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, any abstentions? Great. The agenda has been adopted. Next, approval of the minutes. I'll entertain a motion.
Ms. Hillis?
Was that Mr. Hillis?
Yes.
All right, motion made by Mr. Hillis, seconded by Mr.
Matsakai.
All right, thank you. All in favor, please say aye. 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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you. The minutes have now been approved. Mr. Evans, I understand we do have public comment. Would you please play that comment, those comments?
It may take a moment. 1 second.
Special greetings to you citizens and voters of Atlanta who are monitoring what our council members are doing in this 2021 election year. Ben Howard, Senior Advocate, Public Policy Analyst. Regarding People TV, I again remind you that unfilled board member slots continue to exist on the People TV Board of Directors because the city's legislative branch and the city's executive branch have chosen to not honor their obligation to nominate citizens to the People TV Board of Directors. So how are citizens being harmed by this inaction? For 2 months in a row, People TV board members, which by the way, in accordance with the Georgia Open Meetings Act, are open to the public, have ended prematurely. This month and last month, a decision was made to meet via telephone conference call instead of meeting virtually using Zoom. The meetings were interfered with by random noise. If city-assigned board members have been present, People TV board members might have learned how to go to the conference call console and track down the person who was interrupting the meetings. The board also might have learned how to conduct a Zoom meeting even though the presiding officer is unable to join via Zoom and has to chair the meeting using the telephone number linked to Zoom. As People TV becomes more effective, People TV board meetings can be conducted in accordance with the Georgia Open Meetings Act. While you're seeing to it, council members, that these vacant slots are filled, and seeing to it that a city staff person is assigned, People TV can again help producers shine light on the opaque operations of the NPU online by revitalizing projects like 8-Path Rundown and like 8NPU on TV. Transparency might soon be heading your way. Antonita Robinson, Paulus Clare, Ricardo Jacobs, Renell Scott, Albert White, Allison Hathaway, Sherry Williams, Cheryl Brown, and all of you NPU online cohorts, enablers, and supporters.
Yeah, I am Brother Anthony Muhammad. I am a soulful spiritual being having a human experience. My human experience is very unworthy when I live among people that don't know that they are like electricity. We are energy, 99% energy, less than 1% physical matter. Why isn't it speaking about that? Why is it that we can have young men utility committed and on the street selling bottles of water? Yes, now they need economic empowerment. You got to allow workforce. Why don't you enforce the law or the workforce to make sure they collaborate with businesses, collaborate with churches, and find economic empowerment? Then you have a young child that be ran over by someone car. Now I'm asking you to look into also it's a free flowing street that is being violated in here. This over street, this you heard me talk about it. How is it that we can have you members on council on these public committees that realize they compass and get not acting on that work to help change conditions for your constituency? Why is it that we in Georgia, one of the states that treated the dog people worse than you treat the animals, worse than you treat even animals that you have freely roaming your properties in your home? But in 21st century, what are we doing different? I ask you, enforce the law. Enforce that free flowing stream ordinance so we don't have to have this sewer residue continue to go into the stream and go into other people's property. Force your instance, utility committee, to allow no one to be on the street, right, one up and down the street selling water when you got millions of dollars been appropriated for another workforce. Talk and collaborate with your colleagues. Do something to help these young men, Keisha Lance Barton, Miss Moore, and members of the council. Mr. Bond, what would your father be doing today? Nature, hotel, Brother Anthony Muhammad. I love humanity. Let's find a way to help humanity be free from this wrong action of city council, this wrong action of not wanting to use your resources to uplift the conditions of all the people here in Atlanta, Georgia. We need some working relationship that you
My name is Sharon Williams, a Midtown condo owner. As hopefully you are aware, it has been over 2 years since you passed the solid waste ordinance, illegally taxing condo owners and small businesses for services they do not receive that are against the city charter and fall under the common good line item under the general fund of the city's budget. You are now about to approve the 21-22 budget. It would be so simple to rescind the solid waste tax before that happens and bills are again egregiously mailed to non-users. The costly rate studies and pending class action suits are totally irrelevant to the task of eliminating this unlawful tax altogether. Please stop insulting us with these delaying excuses. Come on, you can do it. Be accountable and restore our faith in those we elected. Thank you.
That concludes public comment.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Evans. From that comment, there are a couple of things that we need to be mindful of. I looked at the People TV vacancies for appointments of the mayor and appointments of council. It looks like our appointments are open and that they need to be done. They are multi-membered appointments. Districts 1 through 4 in post 1, districts 5 through 8 in post 2, and districts 9 through 12 post 3 are all vacant. And so, colleagues, I encourage that we fill these vacancies as quickly as possible. And then issues with the billing, that will be something that we will be discussing very thoroughly in the coming weeks. And so the comment is well taken. And then regarding Mr. Muhammad's comments, Mr. Evans, did you understand what he was complaining about or concerned about?
Brother Muhammad or Ben?
I'm sorry, Mr. I already talked about People TV. That was Ben Howard. So now I'm left with Mr. Muhammad.
I'll review his comment more closely.
Yeah, I could not discern what area he was talking about. So, all right, thank you for that. Next, we are moving on to G, Communications. Mr. Evans.
Item number 1, 21C0045, a communication from Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms appointing Mr. Alfred Wiggins Jr. to serve as Commissioner of the Department of Public Works and for the City of Atlanta.
All right, Mr. Wiggins, are you on the line?
Yes, Chairwoman Archibong. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Would you tell us a bit about yourself?
Well, I am approaching my 20th year in local, county, and city government. My experience has primarily been in city management, community development, planning, zoning, and code enforcement, and law enforcement. This is my sixth city. Most of the cities that I've worked in all of the cities that I've worked in have surrounded the city of Atlanta, so I feel like I'm familiar with the majority of the communities in the city of Atlanta. If you have any particular questions about my experience in local government, I would like to address those this morning.
Well, have you had an opportunity to have a meeting with the members of the committee?
Yes. I've met with the majority of the committee, all of the committee. I'm still scheduling meetings to meet with the remainder of the council.
All right, that's great. And what experience specifically, this is for the public's benefit, have you had in the public works, solid waste, and other related issues under public works, or services, I should say? What experiences specifically have you had there?
Most recently, while serving as the deputy city manager, I also served as the acting director of public works, managing day-to-day operations and handling capital improvement projects. about 4 years out of the 20 years that I've been in local government management.
All right, thank you. Colleagues, I can't see, is anyone interested in asking any questions for Mr. Wiggins?
It's Archibong.
Yes.
It's Ms. Shepherd. I had a chance to talk to Mr. Wiggins yesterday, and I am hopeful. We had a very long conversation. He has some background that I found to be really, hopefully will benefit the Department of Public Works. One thing in particular was code enforcement, which, to be honest with you, in terms of trash, a lot of things he's dealt with code enforcement citywide. He even has some recommendations for the city. So it's obvious that he's been working with municipalities and has an array of different experiences in different departments, which I thought was very good also. But we talked a lot about the Department of Public Works, code enforcement, some things that could happen within the Public Works Department. So I'm openly optimistic that he can help our department as we go forward. He knows he's already been talking about some of the concerns he has. So I will make a motion to support Mr. Wiggins.
Thank you so much. There's a second?
Second, Boone.
Thank you, Councilmember Boone. It's been properly moved and seconded. Any other questions for Mr. Wiggins? Okay, we are now ready to vote. So this will again be a voice vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, thank you very much. That stands approved. Thank you, Mr. Wiggins, and this will now go to Committee on Council and then to full council. But thank you very much for your interest and for your working as someone really critical to our city. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chairwoman Archibong and committee members. I look forward to working with you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. All right, Mr. Evans, consent agenda. Are these our first three? Yes.
Item number 2, 21-00215, an ordinance by City Utilities Committee to amend Ordinance 21-00015, adopted on substitute by the Atlanta City Council on January 19, 2021, and approved by operation of law per City Charter, Section 2-403 on January 28, 2021, for FC 7383A Architectural Engineering and Design Services with Arcadis BPA Joint Venture, a joint venture of Arcadis, G&M Inc. and Brinley Peters and Associates, to add amendment number 1 to existing task order number 143 and to add funding for amendment number 1 to existing task order number 143 in an amount not to exceed $650,000.00 and for other purposes. Item number 3, 21-00216, an ordinance by City Utilities Committee authorizing the Chief Financial Officer to amend the FY 2021 Water and Wastewater Renewal and Extension Fund budget in the amount of $10,450,000.00 and to transfer funds from the watershed reserves for appropriations and add funds to the Sewer Group 5 Clear Creek Sub-Basin PTC Cityscape Flood Abatement and Underground Storage Vault at Central Park Project and for other purposes. Item number 4, 21-00217, an ordinance by City Utilities Committee authorizing the Chief Financial Officer to amend the FY 2021 Water and Wastewater Renewal and Extension Fund budget in the amount of $20 million.00 to transfer funds from the watershed reserves for appropriations and add funds to the Sewer Group 4 Small Diameter Rehabilitation Project and for other purposes. Item number 5, 21-00218, an ordinance by City Utilities Committee authorizing the Chief Financial Officer to amend the FY 2021 Water and Wastewater Renewal and Extension Fund budget in the amount of $4,561,000.00 to transfer funds from the watershed reserves for appropriations and add funds to the GDOT Intergovernmental Agreements Utility Relocation Project and for other purposes. Item number 6, 21-00219, an ordinance by City Utilities Committee authorizing the Chief Financial Officer to amend the FY 2021 Water and Wastewater Renewal and Extension Fund budget in the amount of $7,148,000.00 to transfer funds from the watershed reserves for appropriation and add funds to the small diameter water distribution system improvements project and for other purposes.
All right. Is that the last one? Yes.
That
That was on the first one. You said 21-0-0016. Is that the correct legislative number?
No, item number 2, I should have said 21-00215.
Right, that's it. Okay, thank you so much. All right, thank you. Those are now accepted. Next, we are at regular agenda, section I, ordinances for second reading. Mr. Evans.
Item number 7, 21-00188. An ordinance by City Utilities Committee to amend Ordinance 19-01645 adopted by Atlanta City Council on November 18th, 2019, and approved by operation of law per City Charter, Section 2-403 on November 27th, 2019, authorizing the mayor or her designee to extend the term of SC 9240 with Sawatech Services, Inc. to include the correct dates of the extended contract term on a month-to-month basis, effective February 7th, 2020 through February 6th, 2021, and for other purposes.
All right, thank you. I understand we have, I believe, Ms. Welch on the line to speak to us about this paper. Is that correct?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Good morning.
Good morning. The purpose of this legislation is to correct Ordinance 19-0-1645 regarding the date of the extended contract term on a month-to-month basis, effective February 7th, 2020 through February 6th, 2021. Ordinance 19-0-1645 was adopted by Atlanta City Council on November 18, 2019, approved November 27, 2019, and the city entered into Amendment Number 1, authorizing the extension of the agreement on a month-to-month basis for a period of up to 12 months, effective November 10, 2019 through November 10, 2020, and in an amount not to exceed $199,920.
So the purpose of this is to make up a gap in the timing?
No, ma'am. It's to correct the original dates that were originally approved. So when they were approved, when the dates were approved, the incorrect dates were on the legislation. So this simply is a correction.
Okay, I understand. And your name, please?
Janikia Welch.
Thank you so much. Colleagues, any questions for Ms. Welch, or I'll entertain a motion? Move approval, Winslow. Thank you, Ms. Winslow.
Second, Dr. Stater.
Was that Shook second? All right, it's been properly moved and seconded. Are we still doing a voice vote?
I believe so. I haven't been informed otherwise.
Okay, because I'm off then. So, all in favor, say aye, please. Aye. 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 Thank you. Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right. Thank you, Ms. Welch. That stands approved. Next, Mr. Evans. Thank you. You're welcome.
Item number 8, 21-00189. An ordinance by City Utilities Committee authorizing the mayor or her designee to execute an interjurisdictional agreement with the City of Hateville on behalf of the Department of Watershed Management to continue the supply of water service to the City of Hateville, Georgia for a term of 30 years, effective January 1st, 2021 through December 31st, 2051, with 2 10-year renewal option periods and for other purposes.
Is Commissioner Browning on the line?
Good morning, Sakita Browning. Can you hear me?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
The purpose of this legislation is to seek approval to execute a new interjurisdictional agreement with the City of Hapeville for a term of 30 years and with 2 10-year renewal options. The city has provided wholesale water service to the City of Hapeville since 1995. The most recent agreement had a term of 25 years and expired on December 31st, 2020. The city initiated discussions with the City of Hapeville early fourth quarter of last year to discuss the details relating to the new agreement, and those discussions concluded in early March of this year. The City of Hapeville would like to enter into a new agreement and continue its relationship with the City of Atlanta, and the city is willing and able to continue to provide water services to this neighboring utility. Subject to your questions, this completes my overview.
So the resolution that is currently, and thank you for that, Commissioner, the resolution that is currently held proposed 25 years. What accounts for the additional 5 years?
So we've been talking about duration of our agreement across the board, and so we feel that 30 years would be the max that we like to enter into for the base term, and then again we've got 2 10-year renewal options, which would be a total of 50 years if both parties are willing to enter into those renewal agreements. So across the board, you're going to see as we update these, as the agreements expire and we look to enter into new agreements, we're going to be targeting 30 years and not 25.
I see. Are there any thank you. Are there any colleagues with questions for the Commissioner?
With a question.
Yes, Mr. Shook, and then somebody else afterwards.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Commissioner, briefly, how do the terms compare between the current and proposed agreement?
So the current was 25 years, and we're going to enter into a 30-year.
Well, outside of duration, are there any changes in terms or conditions?
We've updated a lot of the language. The current agreements are a bit dated, so we enlisted Department of Law to opine and update some of the language. We've also updated the water rate. The water rate has been stagnant for some time at $3.70 per CCF, and so we're looking to increase it to $5.01 per CCF, and that'll be instituted over a 2-year period, which the City of Hapeville is agreeable to.
Is that based on the CPI or some other
based on market CPI, and it'll be based on consumption, water use.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
This is Councilman Shepherd. I think you all have answered both my questions. Motion is to approve. Hapeville is right next to my district. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Second, please.
Second, Master.
Okay. All right, Ms. Maskite is seconded. Ms. Shepherd made the motion. If there's no further unreadiness, all in favor, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Thank you. Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, thank you. That stands approved. Thank you, Commissioner. We have a resolution in held that we now would need to file. Do you recommend that we go ahead and file that now or just wait till we get the held papers? Mr. Evans, what do you think?
I think we should take the things in order on the agenda, and we'll get to that item.
All right, please read item 9 then.
Item number 9, 21-00196, an ordinance by City Utilities Committee to amend Section 130-82 of the Atlanta Code of Ordinances relating to fees for the provision of recycling services for each single-family residence and for each unit of duplex, triplex, and quadruplex residence, and for other purposes.
My motion is to file. This is duplicative. The next paper replaces this, so that is my motion to file. Need a second.
Second.
All right, thank you, Mr. Hillis. Been moved and seconded. If there's no On readiness, let's vote. All in favor of filing this paper, say aye. 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 Any opposed? Thank you. Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right. Let it follow that course. Next item, please.
Item number 10, 21-00201, an ordinance by Councilmember Natalyn M. Archibong to amend Section 130-82B of the Atlanta Code of Ordinances relating to a waiver of fees for the provision of recycling services for each single-family residence and for each unit of duplex, triplex, and quadruplex residence and for other purposes. And there is a substitute in your packet.
All right. Thank you, colleague. And I'm trying to pull it up on my computer now. The substitute proposes that this recycling fee waiver mirror the same age limit that is in the overall sanitation fee discount, which would add a requirement that those eligible for this recycling fee waiver be 65 years of age or older. And the other change is we're tying this eligibility for this waiver to the area median income. And the substitute reduces the percentage of area median income to a range that is in the very low income range referenced by HUD. And that percentage has been changed to 20%. Am I correct, Mr. Evans?
25%.
25%, which puts it in the range of, right now, would put it at around, what was that number we talked about yesterday, Mr. Evans? 20,000.
20,000 and change. I'll review my email and I can answer that shortly.
That sounds right. And so we're looking at very low income, elderly residents having this waiver in the recycling fee. Currently, our code says $8,000, which is such a substantially low number that someone who makes $8,001, who is extremely low income, would not be eligible for this. I believe that the waiver of the fee, it both encourages recycling, plus it gives some relief on the tax bill to our most vulnerable homeowners. And so with that, I recommend approval, and I make that motion.
Master Kite with a question.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have a second first before we discuss or what. But anyway, go ahead. Winslow second. Thank you very much, Ms. Winslow. Mr. Mazakite.
Yeah, question. I just wanted to confirm that the law department has had their eyes on this and blessed this carve out.
The reason that the reason that it is now tied to the area median income is that we now have a index or a point of reference that is quantifiable and not just some random number pulled out of the air. And so they have reviewed this, and there's up to us as a policymaking body want to move forward with how we set that eligibility for the waiver.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
Yeah, Shook with a follow-up. So, just to sort of follow up with Mr. Matsakite, tying this, it's law's opinion, having explicitly looked at this, that tying this to the AMI, relieves the city of any kind of constitutional risk or vulnerability.
That is my understanding, and keep in mind the current code already has a number in there. We're simply making that number more reflective of reality. I don't know, $8,000 20 years ago might have been a lot of money.
Somewhere in my files, I have a written opinion from the then city attorney stating it was that the $8,000 sort of approach was not constitutional, but things change. Has anyone run the numbers in terms of revenue, variance?
That is something that the administration is doing. Initially, with the blanket, anybody who earns 50% of AMI would be eligible for this, has now shrunk down to seniors only, as well as making it in the extremely low income area. The administration is running those numbers, and we will have them by Monday's council meeting, as I understand it. And I should have said that, bringing that up.
Okay. Perhaps we send it forward on condition of receipt of those numbers?
Absolutely. That's a great motion. So I don't know.
Chair, I think I don't believe we voted to bring forth the substitute officially. And
okay, did you read in the substitute?
The caption remains the same.
All right, so thank you for that. Let me make that motion to bring forth the substitute.
Second.
All right, thank you. Let's vote on that. If we're ready, are we ready, Mr. Evans?
Yes, ma'am. It will be a voice vote, so at your pleasure.
I just thought about the record-keeping part of it when I said, are you ready? The vote is open. All in favor, this is a voice vote, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Are any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, the substitute is before us, and the substitute does those things that I said, 65 years or older, and 25% of the AMI for the extremely low income as identified by HUD. So the motion would be to move forward on condition that we receive that information from the administration on the financial impact. And I second that motion. Any other discussion? All right. We are now, I assume, ready to vote, Mr. Evans?
If you could let me know who moved that so I can make a proper note.
Mr. Shook made the motion to send forward, approved on condition of receipt of the information from the administration, and I seconded that motion.
Thank you very much.
No problem. All right. In favor of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Thank you. Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right. Thank you. Let it follow that course. Next item, please, Mr. Evans.
Item number 11, 21-00213, an ordinance by Council Member Matt Westmoreland to provide an exemption from the liens created due to unpaid water bills from the prior owners of the property located at blank and for other purposes.
All right, Mr. Westmoreland requested that we hold this paper, and I make that motion. Is there a second?
Second, Matt's case.
Thank you very much. Is there any discussion? If not, this will be a voice vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Aye. Thank you. Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right. Thank you. That will be held. Next, moving to resolutions. Next item.
Item number 12, 21R.
Excuse me, Mr. Evans. I see we have a substitute and the caption changes. So should we make a motion to bring it forward now? You want to read the caption with the new information?
Do it. No, ma'am. Thank you for mentioning that. Let's bring forth the substitute, if you would, please.
All right. I'll make that motion to bring forth the substitute. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Shook. If there's no unreadiness, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right. Thank you. Mr. Evans, please read the caption of the substitute. This is now before us.
All right, this is item 12, 21R3302, a substitute resolution by City Utilities Committee, a resolution authorizing the mayor or her designee to execute amendment number 4 for agreement FC 9215, annual contract for dewatering, hauling, and disposal services with Denali Q Joint Venture, a joint venture between Denali Water Solutions LLC and Q Solutions Inc. on behalf of the Department of Watershed Management in an amount not to exceed $3,500,000.00 to authorize the Chief Financial Officer to pay outstanding invoices to Denali Q Joint Venture and for services rendered during the term of the agreement in an amount not to exceed $1,300,000.00 to exercise renewal options number 2 beginning September 1, 2021 through August 31, 2022 in an amount not to exceed $11,033,280.00. All contracted work will be charged to, paid from the fund, department, organization, and account numbers listed. And for other purposes, there is a substitute redline version in your packet.
All right, thank you very much for that. Is Quentin Fletcher on the line?
Yes, Madam Chair, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, go ahead.
Good morning, Madam Chair and Council members. Quentin Fletcher, Department of Watershed Management. The City of Atlanta Department of Watershed Management is responsible for the dewatering, hauling, and sludge disposal of treatment waste generated from its operations of the drinking water system, wastewater system, and various other facilities. Entering into Amendment Number 4 adds funding for both the South River and Utoy WRCs. We are currently completing capital improvement projects at both facilities that will improve dewatering. The Department of Watershed Management is also requesting to exercise renewal option number 2, effective September 1st, 2021. In accordance with resolution number 17-R-4024, the City of Atlanta entered into FC 9215 annual contract for dewatering, hauling, and disposal with DeWater Solutions LLC, Q Solutions Incorporated on September 1st, 2017. The vendor has performed all contracted work under this agreement. Subject to your questions, that concludes my briefing.
I want to commend the department for bringing this to us early so that we won't have to have any sort of emergency extension. So thank you very much for that. Colleagues, any questions for Mr. Fletcher? If not, I will entertain a motion.
Shook second.
Okay, well, I'll make the motion. Thank you. If there's no unreadiness, we are now ready to vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, thank you. That stands approved. Next item. No problemo. Yes, next item.
Item number 13, 21R3303, a resolution by City Utilities Committee authorizing the mayor to enter into an intergovernmental agreement with the City of South Fulton, Georgia, on behalf of the Department of Watershed Management to lower and/or adjust water valve boxes and other water-related facilities in conjunction with the City of South Fulton project, SR 1374 Butner Road at CR 1386 Stonewall Tell Road in Fulton County, Georgia, in an amount not to exceed $79,900.00. All contracted work will be charged to and paid from the fund, department, organizations, and account numbers listed, and for other purposes.
Mr. Vaccaro, are you on the line?
I am. Good morning, Madam Chair and Council members. This is Rob Vaccaro, Department of Watershed Management. The purpose of this legislation is to request funds in the amount not to exceed $79,900 for construction services related to a City of South Fulton intersection improvement project. The City of South Fulton is sponsoring an intersection improvement project at the intersection of Butner Road and Stonewall Tell Road. Watershed Management has various facilities that present a utility conflict for the project, including 1 fire hydrant, 6 water meter boxes, 3 water valve boxes, 10 linear feet of 6-inch water main, and 110 linear feet of 12-inch water main. Watershed Management scope of work consists of relocating, removing, abandoning, and or adjusting the various water utilities to accommodate the project. Therefore, this legislation is requesting the required construction services funding to perform the required relocation work. A map showing the location of the project is included in the legislative package. let me know if you have any questions about this legislation.
Colleagues, any questions?
I'll move approval.
Who is that?
Sure.
Shook moves approval. Is there a second?
Second, Matt Sky.
Thank you so much. Mr. Buccaro, I have a question. Is Stonewall Tell one of those streets that is partially within the city of Atlanta, and then the rest of it is in either unincorporated Fulton or city of South Fulton?
Yes, you're correct. So this particular project is the intersection improvement is outside of the city, in the city of South Fulton. But you're correct. The toll road does extend into Council District 11, I think it is. Yeah, and on the southwest side.
Is any of it in unincorporated Fulton? Is it just the two municipalities now on that Stonewall Road?
It's in the area that's now part of the city of South Fulton.
All right, we had public comment this morning from a resident of that street, and so I don't know if there is any, and I'll, of course, talk to Ms. Overstreet, but I wonder if there's any opportunity to look at some of the other issues that are going on there as this work is being performed. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I know we should leverage opportunities as often as we can to address issues that are causing challenges for our residents. So is that something that your department is aware of, the complaints around this street from city residents that might benefit from work that may be involved in this legislation?
Yeah, Council Member, I'm not aware of any specific problems related to the roadway or water. Obviously, Brother Mohammed has mentioned in the past about concerns about septic tanks, and we have actually responded to Council Member Overstreet with relating to that. So, but I'm not aware of any other specific issues.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. He made some comments today, and I couldn't tell what it was in reference to, but thank you for that. If there are no other questions, let's get ready to vote. All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Thank you. Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, thank you very much. That stands approved. Next item, please.
Madam Chair, item 4 and item number 18 are companion pieces. Would the committee like to take them together?
Yes, go ahead.
Item number 14, 21R3304. A resolution by City Utilities Committee authorizing the mayor or her designee to exercise renewal number 2 for Cooperative Purchase Agreement FC 10118, meter installations and replacement services with KM Davis Contracting Company, Inc., utilizing Cobb County Water System Contract FY 18 to 19, new water meter installations on behalf of the Department of Watershed Management in an amount not to exceed $2,042,000.00. All contracted work shall be charged to and paid from Fund Department organization and account number listed and for other purposes. Item number 18 is 210026, an ordinance by City Utilities Committee authorizing the Chief Financial Officer to amend the 2018B Water and Wastewater Commercial Paper Fund FY 2021 budget in the amount of $2,042,000.00 to transfer funds from the 2018B Water and Wastewater Commercial Paper Reserve for appropriations and add funds to the small water meter installation project and for other purposes.
All right, thank you. Mr. Hawkins, are you on the line? Mr. Hawkins?
Good morning. This is Eric Hawkins, Department of Watershed Management. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Thank you. The department is seeking approval for renewal number 2 for contract FC 10118, Cam Davis small meter installation and replacement services. I'd like to note that Cam Davis has consistently performed at a high level. They dedicate 3 to 4 installation crews to watershed and meets all installation SLA requirements.
Is that the end of your comment?
Yes, ma'am.
Have they performed well?
Yes, ma'am, they have exceptionally well.
All right. Colleagues, any questions? And this is because both papers. All right, if there are no questions, I'll entertain a motion. Move approval, Madam. All right, so second. Okay, thank you, Mr. Smith. Motion, Winslow seconded the motion to approve. Everyone ready? Let's and vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, thanks. Any opposed? Extensions? All right, thank you. The ordinance and the resolution are now approved. Next item.
Item number 15, 21R3305, a resolution by City Utilities Committee authorizing the reemployment of Dennis Phillips as a construction manager 2 in the Department of Watershed Management, Office of Engineering Services, pursuant to Section 3-505C of the Charter of the City of Atlanta, Georgia, for a period not to exceed 520 business days. Compensation will be charged to and paid from the Fund Department organization and account number listed in an annual amount not to exceed $105,000.00 and for other purposes.
All right, Mr. Buccaro.
Council member, just wanted to check. Can you hear me okay? Just want to make sure I was unmuted again.
Yeah, we can hear you. I can, yes.
Okay, thank you. All right. So this legislation is to request the rehire of retiree Dennis Phillips to provide construction management for the Chattahoochee River Intake Pump Station contract IFB C1200270. This project is related to the water supply program project contract for which Mr. Phillips was the construction manager from 2016 through 2020. His expertise will augment the staff that we have and ensure successful project delivery. He was 13 years with the city before he retired in October 2020. At the time of his retirement, he was construction manager 2 in Watershed's Office of Engineering Services. He was very highly regarded for his expertise in construction and considered an asset to the watershed management and City of Atlanta. His performance evaluations always met or exceeded expectations. Watershed would like to engage him, as I say, on the Chattahoochee River Intake Pump Station contract that was recently awarded to the PC Lewis joint venture. The notice to proceed is anticipated next month. The construction is going to take approximately 2 years. Mr. Phillips has a very unique skill set and possesses detailed knowledge of the water supply program contract that achieved substantial completion at the end of last year. He was integrally involved as a construction manager with the water supply program until retirement, and he was also involved with the constructability review of the next and final phase of the program, which involves the Chattahoochee River Intake Pump Station construction. So I think in summary, with his unique experience and over 30 years of experience in construction engineering services, highly recommends that we engage him as a construction manager 2. We have engineering has a very heavy workload of construction management division work, such that we don't have the bandwidth, and we really need to have somebody of his experience and expertise. That concludes my comments.
All right, thank you, colleagues. Any questions?
Approval, Shook.
Shook made the motion to approve. Is there a second?
Mazzacate, second.
Mr. Mazzacate made the second. I have a question. And when I want a letter of recommendation, Mr. Vaccaro, I want you to write mine for me. That was exceptional.
All right. Thank you, council member. I'll be more than happy to write a recommendation to you. You're doing a fine job as council member.
I'm facetious, but thank you. The question, though, that I have is, as you talk about the unique skill set and how critical he would be at this juncture for the department, what is being done to encourage, or what is the department's position on training others to follow in the footsteps of those who are leaders within the department? So is Mr. I've forgotten his name, Mr. Phillips, going to be working with staff to help them acquire the same skill set or additional skills to help us moving forward?
Yes, thanks so much for that question. That's exactly, I didn't add that to my sort of notes, but that's exactly what we have in mind. We have a number of younger construction managers that don't have 30 years plus of experience, but in his 2 years, one of the things that we are anticipating is that he'll be providing mentorship of some of the sort of younger and also more experienced construction managers and inspectors, and so that we'll have a positive legacy moving forward.
Great. I support that mindset, so that's great. So, any other questions? If not, let's open the vote. All in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Great. Any abstentions? Any nays? All right, great. That stands approved. I think we have one more held paper. Yes, thank you, Mr. Vaccaro. We have one more held paper.
That is correct. It's item number 16, 20R4663, a resolution by City Utilities Committee authorizing the mayor or her designee to execute an intergovernmental agreement with the City of Hateville on behalf of the Department of Watershed Management to continue the supply of water service to the City of Hateville for a term of 25 years, effective January 1, 2021 through December 31st, 2046, and for other purposes.
All right, colleagues, we've already approved a paper that deals with the same issue, changing the term to 30 years. The motion is now to file this paper. I need a second. I'll make that. Yes, is that Mr. Shook?
Yes.
Okay, I'll make the motion to file. Mr. Shook has seconded that motion. If there's no unreadiness, let's please vote. All in favor of filing this paper, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, thank you. This paper is now held. Mr. Evans, any other legislative items to come before the committee?
No, Madam Chair, that completes the agenda.
All right, any announcements or any updates? All right, I do again urge all members to look at the People TV board vacancies in your respective council districts to see if we can't populate that board. If there's nothing else for the good of the body, I'll make a motion to adjourn. Seconded?
Second, Madam Secretary.
Thank you, sir. Colleagues, good meeting. There's no objections. We do stand adjourned.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, everybody.